Which one-hit wonder actually had more music that you enjoyed? Two-hit wonder Spin Doctor's album Pocket Full of Kryptonite is a pretty good album all the way through. Alien Ant Farm. People only remember them for covering Smooth Criminal, but that entire album was very solid. The Proclaimers. I'm Gonna Be 500 Miles is great, but their other stuff is just as good. Some of it is just a ton of fun, and others are incredibly emotionally resonant. Sunshine on Leith is one of my all-time favorite songs. The Knack. It wasn't just my Sharona. Every track on that album was great. Some good stuff on the second, third albums as well. Chumbawamba are one of my favorite groups ever, and I've listened to the big 90s album 0 times. Great group, lots of eras, I don't need the last one. Duncan Cheek. Had a lot of great albums start to finish, and also went on to become a Tony Award-winning musician on Broadway for Spring Awakening. The Verve Pipe. I found they have much more than the Freshmen, some of their songs even better than their hit. This one is controversial. When you think of Blur Stateside, it's song 2. Across the Pond they're on par with Oasis. Tripping Daisy. Famous for a moment in the 90s for I Got a Girl. It's a great album overall, but my favorite Spang Motivation Trip Along. Diametry was far more than Roll to me. It's actually probably the weakest track on its album. Nobody in the 80s and 90s wrote a middle 8 like Justin Currie. And Ian Harvey is one of the best guitarists you've never heard of. Passenger. Let Her Go is good, but the rest of that album is really good. Great lyrics and catchy melodies. People only ever give Africa the time of day, maybe Rosanna if we're lucky, but Toto has easily the most consistently fantastic quality backlog of any other band I've listened to. I have yet to find a bad song or album that those guys have put out, and their range of style is unmatched. Carly Rae Jepsen. None of her other songs were as successful as Call Me Maybe, but she has a lot of great music. Right Said Fred. We all know I'm too sexy, but the rest of their bouncy cute pop music makes me happy, too. Silver Sun Pickups. The song Lazy Eye was big on the radio. But the entire album Carnavas goes hard from start to finish. Mr. Big. To Be With You was alright but kinda generic and forgettable. Green Tinted 60s Mind Fucking Rocks. Passenger. Though a couple of his other songs did make it onto the radio, Let Her Go was his only hit song. Genuinely love almost everything else he's done. Terry Singer of Seasons in the Sun. He had more hits in Canada. He was in a band called the Poppy Family with his ex-wife Susan Jacks. They had a hit song called Which Way You Going Billy? The Poppy Family and Terry Jacks are worth finding and listening to on YouTube. Everlast. Mostly known only for What It's Like as an unsettable great track record of good, honest and diverse music. The Vapors. I really like that entire album that Turning Japanese was on, and still listen to some of the songs regularly today. Pink Floyd Another Brick in the Wall, Part 2. Was Pink Floyd's only #1 hit. Actually it was their only top 10 hit. But I like all their music. Jimi Hendrix had a solid career after Hey Joe. I guess it was Hey Joe in Great Britain and All Along the Watchtower in the USA. The Verve. Urban Hymns is just non-stop bangers and ballads. Bittersweet Symphony is a hit, and I haven't forgiven the Rolling Stones yet, but the whole album was incredible. I don't know if Bobby McFerrin counts as a one-hit wonder, though most people who lived through the 80s would be hard-pressed to name a second song after Don't Worry, Be Happy. Dude is an unbelievable musician. One-hit wonder is a sometimes tenuous term. Guess it depends which chart country, but there must be groups like Sigur Rós who mostly have hit albums, but somehow Hopipola became a hit. It is awesome. Possibly It's Used in Blue Planet. There was a dance cover by Chicane which I don't like much. The Knack had a lot of great songs on Get the Knack. Problem was that one, a lot of the songs were not like My Sharona, but more akin to garage rock. And 2, the lyrics are a little too filthy for that audience. Turning Japanese by the Vapors. The record is called Nuclear Days and it is a masterpiece. As was their next record, Magnets. Kennedy's Children, all magnets. I don't know if it's technically a hit, but I've heard Ocean Man a bunch of times. Ween has so much awesome music though. There's a great series called One Hit Wonderland by Todd in the Shadows on YouTube that covers exactly this topic.